Yeah, I'm Mark Pitman and I'm Operations Manager for Hillier Garden Centres. Initially, we assessed what we wanted to get out of Twitter, which was really to get tweeting at a local level, to enable each store to have their own local Twitter account that they could communicate direct with their own customers. And I think that's really the key. Corporate tweeting for us didn't work. The messages weren't getting out there, they weren't getting retweeted, we weren't getting any interaction, and we felt that perhaps with even a smaller number of followers in a local store, whether it's a big store like this one that we're in today or a very small local store, even 100 followers maybe, you could get a lot more interaction and obviously give us some business. So we decided to run a pilot in 3 stores of various sizes and geographically quite far apart so that we could actually assess whether it worked. And we ran the pilot for a couple of months. We picked sort of 1 or 2 members of staff per store, trained them in how to use Twitter and the sort of techniques that they needed to use, and a conversation plan, as we called it. We gave them things to talk about, whether it's linking in with our marketing that we do centrally, or just to talk about stuff that's happening in store, but to go out and try and find local followers, local groups, and not even necessarily horticultural, or things to do with gardening, but local organisations. Could be a mums and toddlers group, or anything like that. Just something that could get them a sort of step into a local community that they could start engaging with. In terms of picking the person to do the tweeting, no, very much it wasn't the store manager. I felt that, in some ways, the store manager was the last person you'd want to be doing this, because they spend a lot of their time on admin, on running the store itself. You actually want somebody on the shop floor all the time who is picking up on what's looking good, who's talking to the customers on a far more regular basis. So in most cases I picked people. I had an idea of the sort of person I wanted. It was a member of staff that I knew. I know all the staff very well, so I could pretty much handpick the person I wanted, which was somebody that could talk, that would talk on Twitter as they would face to face with a customer and be able to engage and just have a conversation. And we had some volunteers, we had some people who really wanted to do it, we had some very nervous people that had never used Twitter, never really been near a laptop actually, but kind of wanted to get involved. And I think that was the right way forward. It's really proved that in some cases we've got people that have really sort of come on. So for their own personal sort of development, it's been fantastic. They're trained in a new technology and a new way of talking to customers. In terms of press advertising, we do very little, but I see Twitter and social media as a way to completely eradicate it. That the paper-based mailings that we do are very effective. The email marketing is very good and backed up by Twitter. It's fantastic. We do a little bit of local newspaper advertising, as I say, but I think it'll go eventually. I think a store with 300 or 400 Twitter followers is going to have a much better and more instant impact and instant effect. And it gives the store teams actually something to talk about locally. That's the real key for us, is that we can tweet centrally, but we're tweeting to a very broad audience. The store team can talk about what's happening today, what's happening now, what's looking good in the store. Obviously, it's about getting sales in. We want to get money in the tills, but equally, we want to get people talking about us. We want to get customers coming in as a result of Twitter. We want to get them buying online, if they can, and we want them to be advocates of our business. We are refurbishing certain stores, and our store over at Eastbourne went through a complete rebuild, and we worked with a local PR agency who had their own Twitter account, and this was around the time that the pilot started, so we used that with our own account to build up local awareness with all the sort of relaunch activities, and that got us a lot of sort of local interest and a good bit of business coming in, a lot of people coming in the early stages, and still does now. While the technology is free, obviously staff time isn't, and that's where handheld devices make it an awful lot easier, that the staff can actually tweet on the shop floor. And I think that's a key phrase really. Tweeting on the shop floor is the way forward. Not sitting in an office doing it. They want to be out there.